Hi everyone, welcome to our channel. This is an instruction video on how to use our Future Scholar Planner mobile app for you to plan your RESP contribution amount to maximize the CSG matching grant for your child's post-secondary education. Our core privacy commitment is that this Future Scholar Planner app is standalone. It does not log into your RESP or any other financial accounts. All user data entered in this app stay within it on your device, and none of them goes out of your device. We do not collect, transmit, or share any of your user input data entered in this app. This is a summary instruction. In the following, I will walk you through in details on how to run this app to determine the optimal RESP contribution amount to maximize the CSG matching grant for the current year and for the future years. Please read through our disclaimer and terms of purchase. And accept them. In order to use this app, you need to purchase 1 year prepaid access through your Google Play account. And verify your 1 year prepaid access. Now you have access to use this app. Let's look at how to run the app for plan in your current year RESP contribution. For plan type, you can choose family or individual. I'll choose family as an example. Run an individual would be similar. Note that RESP contribution and CSG grant matching is per beneficiary or per each child. This is true for family plan as well. Choose yes or no on whether all the beneficiaries are siblings or not. If no, there won't be additional CSG eligible. If yes, there would be additional CSG eligible. An input 4 would need to be selected. In this example, we choose yes. Choose the birthday of the beneficiary. Choose the plan open year. For year of contribution, choose the current year to run first. If you didn't get additional CSG for the beneficiary before, or you know your total basic and additional CSG received for the beneficiary by last year for input 3 below. Otherwise, you can choose the last year as the year of contribution to run first, which I will show you in part 2 of this video. At the time of this video recording, it is the year of 2026. So the current year is 2026 and the last year is 2025. With the year information entered, we can now enter the yearly resident eligibility of the beneficiary. For each year from the beneficiary birth year to the contribution year, choose true or false on whether the beneficiaries be a Canadian resident or not. In this example, we choose true on resident eligibility for all the years. Note, if the beneficiary is not a Canadian resident for a year, then no RESP contribution can be made for the beneficiary for that year. Now, let's enter the yearly RESP contributions for the beneficiary by last year. For each year, enter the total contribution made in all RESP plans for the same beneficiary. Suppose for 1 year there was no contribution, and for the other years there were contributions like these. If there are input errors, you may get an error prompt when you click on the Submit button. If no input error on the yearly RESP contributions, you will get total RESP contribution for the beneficiary by last year and total basic CSG received for the beneficiary by last year displayed. And you can enter the total CSG basic plus additional received for the beneficiary by last year. For this input field, if you didn't get additional CSG for the beneficiary before, meaning you only received basic CSG for the beneficiary before, then you can keep the total basic CSG received for the beneficiary by last year that has been populated here for you. If you got additional CSG for the beneficiary before, but you know the total basic and additional CSG received for the beneficiary by last year, for example, from your recent statements of all RESP plans for the same beneficiary, then you can enter this total basic and additional CSG amount here, which should be greater than the total basic CSG amount. Let's say this total basic and additional CSG amount is $1,800. Now, select the beneficiary's primary caregiver's net family income bracket of the current year. This input field is for determining your eligible additional CSG amount for individual or siblings family RESP plans. Let's say the income bracket is the middle one. With all the input entered correctly from the top to bottom in the Input tab, click on the Calculate button. Calculation for output is done. We now move to the Output tab. These calculated results will be shown, together with the result chart for the beneficiary for the current year on basic, additional, and carry forward CSG. Also shown is the optimal RESP contribution amount for the beneficiary to receive the maximum CSG for the current year. In this field, you can enter a total RESP contribution amount to make for the beneficiary for the current year. Let's enter the optimal amount. You can look at the corresponding CSG results and recommendation messages to decide the RESP contribution amount. Note the total CSG, basic and additional, to be received by the current year 2026. This amount will be used in the input field 3 for running the next year 2027. You can also look at these reminders. If you got additional CSG for the beneficiary before, but you didn't know the total basic and additional CSG received for the beneficiary by last year for input field 3 in the input tab. For example, you didn't receive your RESP statements yet for the last year, as in January and February of the current year. You can run the last year first. Your total basic and additional CSG received for the beneficiary by last year will be calculated in the Output tab. And then populated in input field 3 for running the current year. Choose the last year, 2025, as the year of contribution. You can find your total CSG, basic plus additional, received for the beneficiary by the year before last year, 2024, from your past RESP statements, if needed. Let's say the amount is $1,250. For the total contribution made for the beneficiary for the last year, let's say it was $2,500. The total CSG, basic and additional, to be received by the last year will be populated in input field 3 in the input tab for running the current year. Now choose the current year, 2026, as the year of contribution. The RESP contribution amount for last year, 2025, has been populated here. Note that your total CSG, basic plus additional, received for the beneficiary by last year has been populated here for you. Now you can continue running the current year. Let's enter the optimal amount. After you have run the current year, you can run the future years, year by year. Choose the next year, 2027, as the year of contribution. The RESP contribution amount 2026 has been populated here. Your total CSG, basic plus additional, received for the beneficiary by 2026 has been populated here for you. Continue running the next year. Let's enter the optimal amount. Now you have run the next year, 2027. You can follow the same process to run 2028, 2029, and so on, year by year. We hope this video helped you use our Future Scholar Planner mobile app for you to plan your RESP contribution amount to maximize the CSG matching grant for your child's post-secondary education.